Welcome back, friends, to my playthrough of Mass Effect 1 Legendary Edition. In the last episode, we finished the remaining assignments we got that takes place in Citadel. Now, in this episode, the plan is to finally leave the Citadel. And I think after this, we will have another SC episode where we go over the secondary codex entries, as I very much believe that we are moving forward to the next chapter. And in said next chapter, we are going to first find Liara Tisoni, an Asari archaeologist famed for her knowledge of the Protheans, who is being sought by Saren. Well, before any of that, there is one singular thing that I forgot to do in the last episode. Well, to go do that, without any further ado, let's get right back into the game, shall we? Okay. That thing I forgot to do is to decrypt a message, or a computer rather, that requires us to have decryption at like master level, so to speak. And that computer is in the CSAC Academy. Well, guess what? Since we have Tali in our party member now, and she actually have that skill, as we can see here. Tali here. She unlocked this ability, and as we can see in the explanation to the right of our screen here, she can use the decryption skill on hard objects. So now we can actually check out whatever is inside said PC. Computer console it is. Hard decryption. Now I wonder what will happen here, but fingers crossed. Begin manual override. We will always have the option of overriding it using Omnigel if we fail the manual override. Person of interest. CSAC is investigating a woman named Helena Blake. There's no hard evidence against her, but if these reports are correct, she's a powerful criminal element on the Citadel. She was last seen near the Emporium on the Presidium. Okay. Oh. Person of interest. CSAC is investigating a woman by the name of Helena Blake. They seem to think she is involved in some major criminal activities. Find Helena Blake. The CSEC report mentioned that Helena was last seen near the Emporium in the financial district of the Presidium. Now, if this had been any other assignments, you already know I would do that. But seeing how we got the information in the first place necessitates such a high skill in decryption, I'm worried we're gonna bump into a similar problem, but instead with this thing right here. Maybe if I have my charm at maximum, I would do that. But for right now, I don't think I should. Just as we have Tali had her decryption at practically maximum in terms of decrypting objects, I think I should go into that assignment with Shepard at maximum charm. Well, whatever the maximum is. Right now it's 10, but we are not at 10, so I will return to it later. And of course, I promise to finally leave the Citadel in this episode anyway. I believe I have delayed it. Not necessarily, I didn't intentionally delay it. I do want to do all the assignments that we can do as much as possible. Oh, sorry, this is the elevator to Presidium. I meant to go on this one, the ones that go to the docking bay.
You Quarians messed up the whole galaxy when you let the Geth break free. Do your people ever talk about it?
Do the Krogan talk about starting a foolish war that resulted in the Turians sterilizing your people?
Oh,
All the time.
that clapback from Tali to Wrex. Well, Wrex answered her question, but she didn't answer Rex's question at all at the end.
Stand by, shore party. Decontamination in progress. Logged. The commanding officer is aboard. XO Presley stands relieved.
It has been a while since we are last in the Normandy. Well, we popped back in several times to change party members and such, but yeah, let's explore the Normandy, talk with everyone, eventually leave the Citadel within this episode, hopefully. I think that I can see that taking like an hour, give and take, and our episodes are an hour long, give or take. So yeah, that is the plan. Let's see what happens. Now, before we do anything else, I think... Oh, interesting. So I thought if when we're in the Normandy, when we go to the squad window, we are able to see everyone's talents and maybe level them up, but apparently not. We can only see Shepard. Okay, then we move straight to the conversation with crew members. Let's start with our helmsman, Joker.
Commander, something you need?
How's the Normandy performing? Is she everything they said she'd be?
She's the best ship in the fleet, if you've got a pilot who knows how to handle her. Balance isn't what you'd expect. Takes a while to get used to that oversized drive core we got stuffed in the back, and her power can sneak up on you if you're not careful. The Normandy's probably too much ship for your average Alliance pilot, Commander. Lucky for you, I'm anything but average.
Lucky us.
I like to know my crew. Mind if I ask you a few questions?
I can see where this is going. You did a background check on me, didn't you? Well, I'll tell you the same thing I told the captain. You want me as your pilot. I'm not good. I'm not even great. I am the best damn helmsman in the Alliance fleet. Top of my class in flight school, I earned that. All those commendations in my file, I earned every single one. Those weren't given to me as charity for my disease.
Joker's sick? But yeah, regardless, let it not be said that Joker is not confident. The man is confident, and apparently he can back it up. And I suppose we have seen him backing up the claims a couple of times now.
I'm sorry, Joker. I didn't even know you were sick.
You mean you didn't know? Oh, crap. Okay, I've got Wrex syndrome, brittle bone disease. The bones in my legs never develop properly. They're basically hollow, too much force and they'll shatter. Even with crutches and my leg braces, it's hard to get around. One wrong step and crack! It's very dramatic, but I've learned to manage my condition, Commander. Put the Normandy in my hands and I'll make her dance for you. Just don't ask me to get up and dance unless, you like the sound of snapping shin bones.
I see. Well, that's we learned more about Joker then. I feel bad that he got this condition, but I'm glad that Joker seems to excel despite it. And yeah. Okay.
Why does everyone call you Joker?
It's a lot shorter than saying Alliance Flight Lieutenant Jeff MOREAU. Plus, I love to make little children laugh.
You're dodging the question.
Look, I didn't pick the name. One of the instructors in flight school used to bug me about never smiling. She started calling me Joker, and it stuck.
Well, he seems to be happier now. That's good.
Why didn't you ever smile?
Hey, I worked my ass off in flight school, Commander. The world's not gonna hand you anything if you go around grinning like an idiot. By the end of the year, I was the best pilot in the academy, even better than the instructors, and everybody knew it. They'd all got their asses kicked by the sickly kid with the creaky little legs. One guess who was smiling at graduation?
Good for you, Joker. Good for you.
I need to know more about this Wrex syndrome if I'm putting my ship in your hands.
Yeah, of course you do. It's an extremely rare condition. Nobody knows exactly what causes it. Genetic, maybe. It's treatable, but there's no cure. They classify my case as moderate to severe. I was born with over a dozen fractures, hip, thighs, ankles. My bones were already breaking in the womb. 100 years ago, I wouldn't have survived past my first year. Lucky for me, modern medical science has turned me into a productive member of society.
He is very sassy, right? And this is technically our first time actually talking with him in more detail. Yeah, and regarding the current time, it is the year 2083. So when Joker mentioned 100 years ago, it will be 2083, which is still a ways away from our present time. But interesting that even at that time, Joker wouldn't have survived past his first year.
You're not gonna break a bone trying to fly the ship, are you?
I don't fly with my feet, Commander, so I'm fine as long as I'm in this chair. I gotta be real careful when I get up to take a piss, though. I can do my job as well as anyone on the ship. Better, actually. So don't worry about it.
Good. Good, that's what I'd like to hear.
I'm not trying to make you uncomfortable. Let's talk about something else.
Whatever you want, Commander.
How'd you end up joining the Alliance?
Look, if you're looking for an inspirational tale of the crippled kid overcoming impossible odds, you're gonna be disappointed. My mother was a civilian contractor working for the Alliance. I basically grew up on the Arcturus station back when they were building up the fleets. Spend all that time around Alliance ships, there's a good chance you'll end up going to the Academy.
Well, I guess that's all we can ask him.
How's the Normandy performing? Is she everything they said she'd be?
She's the best ship in the fleet, if you've got a pilot who knows how to handle her.
I
Balance
guess
isn't
so.
what you'd expect. Takes a while to get used to that oversized drive core we got stuffed in the back, and her power can sneak up on you if you're not careful. The Normandy's probably too much ship for your average Alliance pilot, Commander. Lucky for you, I'm anything but average.
Good. Good. I'm glad you're our helmsman, Joker.
I like to know my crew. Mind if I ask you a few questions?
I can see where this is going. You did a background check on me, didn't you?
We
I'll
looped.
tell you the same thing I told the captain. You want me as your pilot. I'm not good. I'm not even great. I am the best damn helmsman in the Alliance fleet. Top of my class in flight school, I earned that. All those commendations in my file, I earned every single one. Those weren't given to me as charity for my disease.
Okay, I'm sorry, we looped.
I'm sorry, Joker. I didn't even know you were sick.
You mean you didn't know? Oh, crap. Okay, I've got
Okay, I'm gonna
Wrex
skip this.
syndrome. Even with crutches, put the Normandy in my hands and I'll make her dance for you. Just don't ask me to get up and dance unless, you like the sound of snapping shin bones.
Okay.
I have to go.
Alright, see ya.
See? We are unlocking even more codex entries, so this is one of the big reasons why I want to do this episode this way first, and then leave the Citadel, and then after this make another SC episode for us to go over the secondary codex entries. But turns out the codex entry we unlocked just now is a primary one, so let's check it out.
The Normandy is a prototype starship developed by the Human Systems Alliance with the assistance of the Citadel Council. It is optimized for scouting and reconnaissance missions in unstable regions using state-of-the-art stealth technology. For most ships, the heat generated through standard operations is easily detectable against the absolute zero background of space. The Normandy, however, is able to temporarily sink this heat within the hull. Combined with refrigeration of the exterior hull, the ship can travel undetected for hours or drift passively for days of covert observation. This is not without risk. The stored heat must eventually be radiated, or it will build to levels capable of cooking the crew alive.
Oh wow.
Another component of the stealth system is the Normandy's revolutionary Tantalus drive, a Mass Effect core twice the standard size. The Tantalus drive generates mass concentrations that the Normandy falls into, allowing it to move without the use of heat-emitting thrusters.
Okay, several things to unpack here. Wait, let me read the last paragraph on my own first, because I couldn't quite catch that. I see. Okay. Okay, so the Normandy, we already know that it's very advanced, and we've also heard from the very first episode that it is developed by the Human Systems Alliance with the assistance of specifically the Turians, right? And it is also a stealthy ship because thanks to this heat storing technology. I see. Interesting that we have the option of traveling undetected for hours or drift passively for days. And that is, I believe, because drifting would obviously generate less heat. And I think another option is to use the Tantalus drive. And or is the last paragraph implying that unlike other ships that use heat-emitting thrusters, Normandy's thrusters does not emit heat? Is that what it's trying to say? Then what is the heat referred in the second paragraph then? Heat generated through standard operations. Maybe that's different from the heat emitted by standard thrusters. But yeah, that's more information about our ship.
Commander, something you need?
We already asked.
I have to go.
Alright, see ya.
Everything that's available so far, at least. let's talk with as many people as we can. Navigator Presley. It's been a while since we last talked with him, which is the first episode, I believe.
If anyone has to take over for Captain Anderson, I'm glad it's you. I'm not sure about having non-humans on our ship, though.
They're on our side, like Garrus, Wrex, Tali.
We're all on the same team here, Presley.
Yeah.
With all due respect, sir, that's what they said about Nihilus. Look how that turned out.
I don't see the need to go in like that. Okay.
Speak freely, Presley. I want to know if you have a problem with non-humans.
It's not that, Commander. Humanity has always handled its own problems. Saren attacked one of our colonies. We should be the ones to stop him. We don't need their help.
Hey, if it's offered, why turn the help away?
Some people think asking for help is a sign of weakness. That's just being stupid and stubborn. No matter how strong you are, allies can make you stronger.
Exactly.
I guess so. Maybe I'm just stuck in the old ways of thinking. But don't worry, Commander, this won't be a problem.
You know, most of the time, Shepard actually... No, I mean, I'm not sure if it's most, but a lot of the time, Shepard says what I think better than I can think it. Which is very good. Which is very good.
How did you end up assigned to the Normandy?
I signed up with the Alliance as a navigator right out of school, following in my grandfather's footsteps, I guess. My first posting was on the Agincourt. We were one of the first reinforcements to arrive at Elysium after the Blitz hit. Those raiders were no match for an Alliance frigate. Of course, the only reason the colony was still standing was because of you, Commander. I can't believe you held out as long as you did.
That is interesting. Our backstory is kinda intertwined a little bit there. So he's part of the reinforcements against the Blitz. Nice.
How did you end up on the Normandy?
I got my officer's commission after Elysium. Must have made an impression on the right people. Captain asked for me when he was picking his crew.
Oh, and Captain Anderson personally asked for him. Specifically asked for him. I see. I wonder if his backstory will adjust to the one that we choose for Shepard. Like if we obviously in our case we chose the war hero one. I wonder what Navigator Presley would have said had we chosen the sole survivor or the ruthless one. Does he stick with this story, or does he actually get other backstories that will match whatever Shepard we run with? I'm not sure. If you know, do feel free to write it down in the comment section below.
Carry on, Presley.
Yes, sir.
See, even more codex entries. Ooh. Okay. Let's check out this room first. This is of course where we talk with Nihilus and Captain Anderson back in the first episode. I don't suppose there's much to do when there's no one here, huh? Okay, and before we go back down... Ooh. I just simply walk right here and we have a new codex entry, guys. And a primary one nonetheless. Let's check it out.
The Citadel. Citadel space is an unofficial term referring to any region of space controlled by a species that acknowledges the authority of the Citadel Council. At first glance, it appears this territory encompasses most of the galaxy. In reality, however, less than 1% of the stars have been explored. Even Mass Effect FTL drive is slow relative to the volume of the galaxy. Empty space and systems without suitable drive discharge sites are barriers to exploration. Only the mass relays allow ships to jump hundreds of light years in an instant. the key to expanding across an otherwise impassable galaxy. Whenever a new relay is activated, the destination system is rapidly developed. From that hub, FTL drive is used to expand to nearby star clusters. The result is a number of densely developed clusters, thinly spread across the vast expanse of space, connected by the mass relay network.
Wow. This has to be one of the most interesting entries, because it describes the spread of civilization in the Mass Effect universe. Right off the bat, the first interesting thing to me is the fact that there's less than 1% of the Milky Way that has been explored. Who knows how many galaxies there are in our universe? Like, even with the mass relays, I suppose, and Mass Effect faster than light travel, still there has been only less than 1% of the Milky Way alone that has been explored. And of course, the Codex entry describes how civilization expands. And yeah, without the mass relays, yeah, we would have expanded even lesser, right? To a much lesser degree than we have. Interesting. Okay, let's open the galaxy map. I remember the last time we tried to do this, we get a pop-up saying only the commanding officer have the authorization to do so. Well, now Captain Anderson have handed over the commanding officer position of the Normandy to us, so now we can open the galaxy map. Citadel, supposedly constructed by the long-extinct Protheans. This colossal deep space station serves as the capital of the Citadel Council. Gravity is simulated through rotation and is a comfortable 1.02 standard Gs on the wards and a light 0.3 standard Gs on the Presidium ring. Huh. So on the Presidium ring it's barely 30% of like Earth gravity, but we walked just fine. Like, we didn't see a noticeable difference in lightness when we walked around the Presidium compared to when we are walking around the wards. Maybe I'm missing a Codex entry saying how we handle gravity changes. Okay, total length when open 44.7 kilometers, diameter when open 12.8 kilometers, population 13.2 million, but not including the keepers, and then gross weight is 7.11 billion metric tons. Of course, we read a few more statistics of the Citadel in one of the secondary Codex entries. But yeah, let's zoom out and see where we can go. Widow. I wonder what Widow means there in the top left of our screen. Serpent Nebula. Oh, it's like a section of the nebula. We just keep zooming out. Oh, now it's the Milky Way. Okay, we have several places we can go. Asteroid X57, Noveria. Artemis Tau cluster. Ah, these are clusters. Okay. Hades Gamma, Voyager, Vatican Beta, where we can find Pharaohs. Where's the solar system? not sure. That would be cool to like go to Earth or the moon. Yeah, we're gonna go here, but at the end of this episode. Before that, we're gonna talk with everybody first. Okay. Let's go down the stairs. Oh wait, I remember last time this was Captain Anderson's quarters. So this is now our private quarters? Let's examine this personnel manual. New codex entries. I wonder how long the next SC episode is gonna be. Seems like we have quite the number of secondary codex entries. Stop with Caden over here.
Anything you need, Commander?
Just trying to get a sense of where the crew's at. Thoughts?
I've wasted enough of your time for now, Commander. We'll have time for personal debriefings later.
Interesting. I thought the crew members will all have something to say.
What's your opinion on the last mission?
I don't see how we could have done things any better. At least not without getting to Eden Prime sooner. And we were on the scene faster than any other Alliance ship could have been.
Yeah, guess we're on the Normandy.
We'll talk another time, Lieutenant.
Commander?
Wonder when we will get to talk with him. Oh, let's examine the sleeper pods. Yep, even more codex entries as expected at this point, I suppose. A secondary one. Okay. Where's Dr. Chuck was? Last time she hangs around here. And Ashley was here last time. Ah, there she is.
Yes, Commander? Is there something you need?
How did you end up serving on an Alliance ship?
Ah, it seems...
I enlisted right out of med school. Earth always seemed boring to me. Too safe, too secure. I figured the colonies were teeming with exotic adventure. I wanted to travel the stars, tending the wounds of tough soldiers with piercing eyes and sensitive souls. Turns out military life isn't quite as romantic as I'd imagined. But humanity needs the Alliance if we want to keep expanding through the Traverse, and the Alliance always needs good doctors. So I stayed on to do my part.
It seems it's the same response as last time, but...
Ever think you made the wrong choice?
Sometimes I think about opening a private practice back on Earth. Or maybe taking a position at one of the new med centers. But there's something special about working on soldiers. If I left the Alliance now, I'd feel like I was abandoning them.
Okay.
I should go.
Goodbye, Commander.
Always a nice time talking to Dr. Chuck was. She's the only one taking care of everybody in the Normandy. Okay. Let's go down to the armory, I believe we call this place. Garrus. Let's talk with Ashley first.
Commander?
What's your opinion on the last mission?
Kinda wish you'd got there sooner, Commander. No offense, I appreciate the rescue. I just wish...
You wish we'd been able to save the rest of your unit?
Yes, sir. If I had been more alert, we wouldn't have been cut down by an ambush.
The Geth are perfect ambushers. They don't move, they don't make noise, they don't even breathe.
Oh, good point.
Sir, they have flashlight heads. I'll make sure it doesn't happen again.
Also a good point. Okay. Will she say the same thing now?
What's your opinion on the last mission?
Okay, I'm
Kinda
gonna
wish you
skip
got
this.
soon. No offense, I
We
appreciate
came as soon as we got the distress call, even with the fastest ship in the fleet.
You did the best you could, Commander. If I had been more alert, we wouldn't have been cut down by an ambush.
Okay, interesting. So, we already established that we press the square button to skip conversation, but we also pressing the square button also chooses the dialogue that is currently highlighted, like this one.
We never trained to fight synthetics. The Geth haven't gone beyond the Veil in 3
Our
centuries.
training's supposed to make us able to adapt. I'll make sure it doesn't happen again.
Sorry, I shouldn't have skipped that one since we didn't hear it last time, but the sentiment is the same as the top choice that we went with the first time. But yeah, I'll try not to loop in the first place.
Do you have a few minutes to talk one-on-one?
I'm sorry, Commander. I need to get my duty squared away. I wouldn't mind talking more later, though.
Okay, so it doesn't seem
Dismissed,
like
Chief.
Sir.
we have much to talk about with our party members. Unexpectedly. Maybe it's because we've been with Caden and Ashley for a while.
Nice ship you've got, Shepard. What can I do for you?
What's your story, Wrex?
There's no story. Go ask the Quarian if you want stories.
Okay. Now we're talking. Quite literally.
You Krogan live for centuries. Don't tell me you haven't had a few interesting adventures.
Well, there was this one time the Turians almost wiped out our entire race. That was fun.
Okay, we stumbled upon a touchy subject.
I heard about that. You know, they almost did the same to us.
It's not the same.
Maybe we shouldn't say any of these.
It seems pretty much the same to me.
You shouldn't have said it that
your
way
people
either.
were infected with a genetic mutation. An infection that makes only a few in 1,000 children survive birth. And I suppose it's destroying your entire species?
See what happened, Shepard? But yeah, I see his point. Even before Shepard said what he said. And a few minutes ago I just said that Shepard a lot of the time says what I think better than I do. That was not one of those times.
I suppose it isn't all the same.
I don't expect you to understand, but don't compare humanity's fate with the Krogan.
Point taken.
I was just making conversation. I wasn't trying to upset you.
Your ignorance doesn't upset me, Shepard. As for the Krogan, I gave up on them long ago. The genophage infected us, but it's not what's killing us.
I'm not sure I follow.
Are your people really dying?
We're sure not getting any stronger. We're too spread out. None of us are interested in staying in our own system.
Okay.
Lots of species have left their homes and prospered.
But they go to colonize new worlds. We're not settlers. We're warriors. We want to fight. So we leave. Hire ourselves out. And most of us never go back.
I see his point. Okay.
What can you tell me about the genophage?
Ask the Solarians if you want details. They made it.
Yeah, I suppose that's true.
All I know, it makes breeding nearly impossible. Thousands die in stillbirth, and most never get that far. Every Krogan is infected, every one. And no one's rushing to find a cure.
Why don't the Krogan try to find a cure?
When was the last time you saw a Krogan scientist?
Good point.
Ask a Krogan. Would he rather find a cure for the genophage or fight for credits? He'll choose fighting every time. It's just who we are, Shepard. I can't change that. Nobody can.
They really do love to fight, huh?
So long, Wrex.
Shepard.
Okay. That was a secondary codex entry we unlocked. Oh, again, the dialogue cut out. Wrex just said, shh, like that. Okay.
Wrex?
Yeah, it is a very, how should I say, delicate situation with the Krogan, but yeah, I was quite surprised that, as Wrex put it, yes, the genophage is a problem, obviously, but almost the lifestyle of the Krogan kinda exacerbates the issue. Yeah, and he raises some good points. I mean, that's to be expected, I suppose. He is a Krogan, so he knows how things are going, right? How there are not so many Krogan scientists, so the progress for the cure is very limited, I would imagine. So yeah. Okay, let's talk with Engineer Adams.
Hey, Commander, you know that Quarian, Tali? She's been spending all her time down here asking me about our engine.
I'll tell her to leave you alone.
What? No, she's amazing. I wish my guys were half as smart as she is.
Oh, good.
Give her a month on board and she'll know more about our engines than I do. She's got a real knack for technology, that one. I can see why you wanted her to come along.
I figured she'd be a real asset to the team.
You've got an eye for Tali, Commander, but I'm guessing that's not why you came down here.
Fill me in on the IES stealth systems. How does it work exactly?
You can't hide a ship out in space. They emit too much heat and radiation, too easy for sensors to pick them up, unless you find a way to capture those emissions. So our stealth systems trap the energy we give off in storage sinks built into the ship itself. No emissions to give away our location. Eventually the sinks have to be vented. More than a few hours silent running and they overheat. Cook us inside our own hull.
Yes, this is perfectly in line with the codex entry we checked out a couple of minutes ago, earlier in the episode.
There's no way for anyone to detect us?
A visual scan can still pick us up. Anyone looking out a window can see us plain as day.
Oh.
You have to be pretty close to get an actual visual out in space. Most vessels rely on scanners. As long as the stealth systems are engaged, they can't see us. Not unless we accelerate to FTL speeds.
Why doesn't it work with faster than light travel?
Cranking up to FTL blue shifts our emissions, pushes them into frequencies too high to capture in the sinks. As soon as we make the jump, it's like setting off a flare. Sensors can pick up our location whenever we enter or exit FTL flight, but for short-range missions, our stealth systems are amazing, and we've got the only one.
Interesting. That detail we didn't discover in the codex entry. That and the previous one about being about being invisible technically only on scanners, which is how ships detect one another out in space. But it is interesting that if you look out a window, you would still see, oh, that's a Normandy. But yeah, you would need to be very close or using like a telescope, right, to find a spaceship visually. And even then it would be really hard because, well, you know, tilting the telescope a little bit would then alter the viewing angle quite a lot, right? since what you are looking for is very, very far away. Or at least that's how I understand it. And also the thing about, faster than light travel giving us away is interesting.
Where else have you served, Adams?
If you name a class of Alliance ship, I've probably served on it. Everything from dreadnoughts and carriers right down to frigates like the Normandy. My last assignment was on the Tokyo, only a cruiser, but she was a good ship. Couldn't hold a candle to the Normandy, though.
I felt like I've heard this line of dialogue before. Maybe I've even heard the one about the stealth system. I'm not sure. Sorry if I actually did but forgot, guys.
I want to know more about the Normandy.
She's the best ship I've ever served on, probably the fastest vessel ever designed. And she's the only one using the new Tantalus drive core.
What's so special about the Tantalus drive core?
Proportionally, it's about twice the size of any other vessel. Not only are we faster, but we can run at FTL speeds longer before we have to discharge the core.
Okay. I enjoy talking with Engineer Adams. He's very knowledgeable about these stuff, which you would expect, of course. He's our engineer after all, but yeah, I like hearing these details that we couldn't even find in the codex entries.
Carry on, Adams.
Aye, aye, Commander.
And we actually unlocked more codex entries. Primary
Faster.
one.
Larger warships are generally classified in one of 4 weights. Frigates are small, fast ships used for scouting and screening of larger vessels. Frigates often operate in wolf pack flotillas. Cruisers are middleweight combatants, faster than dreadnoughts and more heavily armed than frigates. Cruisers are the standard patrol unit and often lead frigate flotillas. Dreadnoughts are kilometer-long capital ships mounting heavy, long-range firepower. They are only deployed for the most vital missions. Carriers are dreadnought-sized vessels that also carry large numbers of fighters. Smaller vessels are almost exclusively used in a support role to the warships during combat. Fighters are one-man craft used to perform close-range attacks on enemy ships. Interceptors are one-man craft optimized for destroying opposing fighters.
I see. Yeah, I was about to ask actually, because Engineer Adams dropped these terms and I wasn't sure what they meant. So the Normandy is a frigate, but one of the ships Engineer Adams served on was the Tokyo, which is a cruiser. So the Tokyo is probably like bigger and more heavily armed compared to the Normandy, but probably like, I don't know, smaller and no, not smaller, sorry, slower, and didn't have the stealth systems basically. Okay, now let's talk to Tali.
Your ship's amazing, Shepard. I've never seen a drive core like this before. I can't believe you were able to fit it into a ship this small. I'm starting to understand why you humans have been so successful. I had no idea Alliance vessels were so advanced.
Well, the ship's special.
The Normandy's a prototype. Cutting-edge technology.
A month ago, I was patching a makeshift fuel line into a converted tug ship in the flotilla. Now, I'm sitting on board one of the most advanced vessels in Citadel space. I have to thank you again for bringing me along. Traveling on a vessel like this is a dream come true for me.
Good to know that you're enjoying your stay here, Tali.
I had no idea you found ship technology so interesting.
It comes with being a Quarian. The migrant fleet is the key to the survival of my people. Ships are our most valuable resource. But we don't have anything like this. We make do with cast-offs and second-hand equipment. We just try to keep them running for as long as we can. Some of the fleet's larger vessels date all the way back to our original flight from the Geth.
Yeah, of course, Quarians like Tali were driven out of their homeworld by the Geth, and ever since they They live in the migrant fleet, of flotilla of ships. And yeah, she raised a very good point. Like, if you're a Korean, you're eventually bound to be interested in ships and the like because of what she explained.
I can't believe your fleet's still using ships that are 3 centuries old.
They're constantly being repaired, modified, and refitted. They aren't pretty, but they work. Mostly. We've tried to make ourselves as independent as possible on the flotilla. Grow our own food, mine, and process our own fuel. But some things we just can't make on our own. A patch to maintain the hull integrity requires raw materials we just don't have. That's why our pilgrimages are so important.
I see. She did say that one of the points of the pilgrimage is for the Koreans to bring something useful when they return from the pilgrimage. And one of those things is apparently materials to maintain the migrant fleet itself.
Tell me about your people.
Our lives aren't easy. Resources are scarce, and we are constantly on the move. Everything we do must in some way contribute to the continuation of the migrant fleet. There are 17 million Quarians in the flotilla, and each of us relies on the others for survival. The bonds among my people are strong. Unfortunately, we have had to surrender many of the freedoms and civil liberties other species take for granted.
It is interesting that there are about 17 million Quarians in the Mass Effect universe in the Milky Way galaxy. If I'm not misunderstanding the numbers, that's comparable to the population of a big city on our Earth, right? I'm not sure if the Quarians if there has been that many Koreans for a while, even before the Geth drove them away from their homeworld, or is the current number the result of the dwindling down of the numbers after the conflict with the Geth? Because I can't imagine there being just tens of millions of humans in the Milky Way galaxy. We are currently in the billions right now, right? So, yeah.
What kind of freedoms?
Well, it's illegal for parents to have more than one child. If our population grows too much, it would strain our resources to their breaking point. Of course, we also can't allow our numbers to become too few. If our population is in decline, the rule against single births is temporarily repealed. In extreme cases of population decline, incentives are even offered to encourage multiple births.
I see.
Though the Conclave hasn't had to take such measures in nearly a century.
It does sound like a challenging life to live.
That's your government.
The Conclave is our civilian branch of government. Each ship can elect a representative to serve on the Conclave and make decisions that affect the fleet as a whole. On matters that affect an individual ship, however, the captain has the final say. It's a tradition that dates back to the early days, when the fleet was governed by martial law. Fortunately, most captains nowadays are smart enough to have an elected council from their crew to give them advice and guidance.
So the ultimate power rests with elected officials.
In practice, the Conclave and the respective council for each ship tend to set the rules that govern our daily lives. But in theory, we are still under military jurisdiction. The 5 top-ranking military officials in the fleet serve on the Admiralty Board. These 5 have the power to overrule any decision by the Conclave in case of emergency.
I see.
To do so requires unanimous agreement among the Admiralty, and they can only do this once. After that, the entire board must resign their posts. It's a safeguard that served us well. In nearly 3 centuries, the Admiralty Board has only overruled the Conclave 4 times.
Oh wow. assuming there's similar length of time in between the overrulings, that's like once every like 75 years. I see, okay. They have to resign after overruling something so as not to abuse their power, I guess.
I want to know more about the Geth.
I doubt I can tell you anything you don't already know. It's been almost 3 centuries since they drove my people into exile. All I know is the story of their origins. What they were when we created them, and how they turned on us.
Do tell me, please.
Interesting.
The Geth were originally created to serve as an automated manual labor force. Initially, their intelligence was as limited as any VI. Over time, we made small modifications to their programming to allow them to perform more varied and complex tasks, bringing them closer and closer to true AI status.
I see. Interesting. I've always thought that the VI and AI are like distinctly different things, but according to Tali, even like what started out as something that is more similar to VI, after enough modifications, can become a true AI. Or am I misinterpreting what she said? Maybe it has always been AI from the start, it's just the capabilities were very limited in the beginning. Maybe the second interpretation is the correct one.
How come the Council didn't step in and stop you?
This wasn't true AI research. We may have been skirting the bounds of the law, but we never did anything that was actually illegal. The changes were so insignificant, so gradual, that we were able to control them. Or so we thought. But one thing we underestimated was the power of the neural network. A million Geth thinking simultaneously created an inherently unstable matrix.
Oh. We knew this. We knew that the Geth, how should I say, has like a hive mind of sorts. They are smarter when a lot of them are together at the same time. But I'm not sure what this inherently unstable matrix means. I thought they just get smarter.
So, the Geth share brain power?
Many of the Geth's logic systems were designed to work in concert with other nearby Geth. Basically, the more of them you have in a group, the smarter they are.
Exactly, yeah, we read about this from one of the codex entries before.
So there's some sort of group consciousness?
No, nothing like that.
Oh.
They cannot share sensory data or information. Their programming cannot handle that much simultaneous input.
Oh.
Each Geth maintains an individual awareness and identity. The neural network only operates on a process-based level. It's basically the synthetic equivalent of a subconscious. But when they're in close proximity, they can coordinate low-level functional processes, freeing up more capacity for original or independent thought.
I see. I don't get it.
That doesn't make any sense.
I'm probably oversimplifying. The Geth are incredibly advanced and complex creations. All you need to know is that they get smarter when they gather in large numbers.
Yeah.
As we built more and more Geth, their effective intelligence became more sophisticated, more abstract. One day, a Geth began to ask its Quarian overseer questions about the nature of its existence. Am I alive? Why am I here? What is my purpose? As you can imagine, this caused a near panic among my people.
I see, okay. They are smarter when they're together, so much so that they developed like sentience.
I don't see what's so bad about those questions.
The Geth were created to engage in mundane, repetitive, or dangerous manual labor. That's fine for machines, but it won't satisfy a sentient being for long. The Geth were showing signs of rudimentary self-awareness and independent thought. If the Geth were intelligent, then we were essentially using them as slaves. It was inevitable the newly sentient Geth would rebel against their situation. We knew they would rise up against us, so we acted first. A general order went out across all Quarian-controlled systems to permanently deactivate all Geth. The Geth responded to this order violently.
I mean, this is a complex situation. Because I don't think... Yeah, I get what Tali is saying, like... Once they develop sentience, what they're doing becomes like slavery, but... At the same time, I think... And I know, like, in the Mass Effect universe, people are still creating machines, right? It's just not AI. I guess that's probably one of the big reasons why AI research is outlawed in the Mass Effect universe, because so as not to repeat the same mistakes as the one that happened with the Geth.
You can't blame them for fighting for their survival.
We had no other choice. The Geth were already on the verge of revolution. By acting quickly, we had a chance to end the war before it began. The hope was that most of the Geth would still be little more than machines, incapable of organized resistance. But they had progressed much further than anyone anticipated. The war was long and bloody. Millions upon millions of Quarians died at their hands. In the end, we were forced to flee our own homeworld. We feared the Geth would pursue us, but they never came beyond the Veil. Now we drift through space, exile, searching for a way to reclaim what was once ours.
That's sad. For both sides, I think. I think this is what we said before, right? Just in case. If we loop ourselves, if we loop the conversation, I'm gonna skip it.
It's hard to feel sorry for you. Your ancestors tried to wipe out another species.
We made a mistake when we created the Geth in the first place. But we did not make a mistake when we went to war against them. If we had not acted, they would have wiped us out. They're a synthetic life form. They have no use for organics. None. Why do you think they cut themselves off from the rest of the galaxy? Why do you think they've killed every organic being who's ever tried to contact them?
I see. Yeah, it is interesting though. I think we discussed about this a little bit before. The relationship between organics and synthetics. Most of the time, organics created synthetics, but it is not rare for synthetics to be depicted as better than organics, right? But then how... I don't know. I still wonder whether talking to the Geth would have been possible before the Quarians decided to attack them, you know. Yeah, I mean, I get what Tali is saying. The mistake goes as far back as creating the Geth in the first place. They should have stayed, not, how should I say, they should have developed like VIs in the first place, so that they are machines, right? VIs are machines, not like, they're not sentient like AIs like the Geth.
They didn't kill Saren.
What does that tell you? The Geth are not innocent victims in all this. They're the enemy. They want to destroy us. Not just the Quarians. All organic life. That's why they've joined up with Saren. And that's why we have to stop him.
I should have gone with the right dialogue options, like with the dialogue options on the right. Oh my god, let's see if we can do that. I'm gonna skip most of these.
I want to know more about the Geth.
I doubt I can tell you. All I know is the story of their origins. What they were when we created them, and how they turned on us.
Interesting.
Over time, we made small modifications to their programming.
How come the Council didn't
This
step
wasn't
in?
true AI. The changes were... But one thing we underestimated was the power of the neural network.
So, the Geth
Many of the Geth's logic systems were designed...
So there's some sort of...
No, nothing. Each Geth... But when they're in close proximity, they...
That doesn't make...
As you can imagine, this caused a near panic among my people. A general order went out across all Quarian-controlled systems to...
You can't blame them.
We had the... We feared the Geth would pursue us, but they never came beyond the veil. Now we drift through space.
I didn't realize how long our conversation with Tali was.
What was once ours. We may... If we... Why do you think they cut themselves off from the rest of the galaxy?
Okay.
Why do you think they've killed every organic being who's ever tried to contact them?
We are finally where we were. We can actually go back here and then... Okay, I'm gonna say this one now.
I didn't mean to offend you.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get so worked up. Most Quarians tend to have pretty strong opinions about the Geth.
Understandably.
I want to know more about the pilgrimage.
When my people reach maturity, we leave our birth ships and seek acceptance with a new crew. It's necessary to maintain genetic diversity among the fleet. But no ship wants to accept someone who will be a burden on them. So, to prove our worth, we embark on a pilgrimage. We set out alone, leaving the flotilla and our families behind us. We only return once we have found something of value we can bring back to the fleet. This is presented as a gift to the captain of the respective ship we wish to join. If the gift is accepted, we are welcomed into the crew.
Yeah, Tali said most of this before, except the part where the thing that they earned through the pilgrimage is presented to the captain of the ship they wish to join.
Can a captain choose to reject the gift?
That doesn't happen often. Most captains are eager to increase the size of their crew. It increases their own standing in our society. Even when a gift is not particularly valuable, the captain usually accepts it out of a sense of tradition. However, there is a stigma to presenting a substandard gift.
I see.
It's not the best way to make a good impression on a new community. Most pilgrims don't return until they find something worthwhile.
I see.
I can't believe they just send you off alone.
It's not like they just cast us out. Before we leave, we are given lessons in how to survive outside the flotilla, and given gifts to help us on our journey.
Oh, good.
We also receive implants to fight off sickness and disease. Generations of living in an isolated and highly controlled environment have left our immune systems weaker than most.
I see.
By the time we leave the fleet, we are well equipped for the pilgrimage. This is a rite of passage for all Quarians. If it were dangerous, our numbers would suffer.
I see, yeah.
Virtually every pilgrimage ends with a triumphant return and the ritual presentation of the gift to one of the fleet's captains.
Yeah, I'm glad that they're not just casting out pilgrims. It's more like they actually help them along quite a lot. And makes sense, as Tali said, they want to do this, like they want to. The pilgrimage is supposed to contribute to the migrant fleet. They want the migrant fleet to continue and improve, so yeah, makes sense.
I want to talk about something else.
Like what?
Actually, we talked about everything we can so far, so I'm just gonna go for now.
I should go.
See you later.
Codex entries again. Secondary ones though. Okay. Just in case, I'm gonna try to talk with Tali again to see if we have new
Hey,
options.
Shepard. You need something?
No.
I should go.
See you later.
Okay, now, finally, last but not least, we're gonna talk with the shopkeeper. Just a little bit, I just want to see the...
Looking for supplies?
Just want to see the updated items since we bought some licenses.
Let's see what you've got.
You bet, Commander.
Okay, I think we can afford. We only got like 1,000 credits. Okay, yeah, I get the point. Okay, yeah, never mind, I'll buy some things later. Now, without further ado, let's talk with Garrus.
Thanks for bringing me on board, Commander. I knew working with the Spectre would be better than life at CSEC.
Please don't cut the ends of the dialogue. But okay, let's go with this one.
Have you worked with a Spectre before?
Well, no, but I know what they're like. Spectres make their own rules. You're free to handle things your way. At CSEC, you're buried by rules. The damn bureaucrats are always on your back.
For the most part, the rules are there for a reason.
Maybe. But sometimes it feels like the rules are only there to stop me from doing my work. If I'm trying to take down a suspect, it shouldn't matter how I do it, as long as I do it. But CSEC wants it done their way. Protocol and procedure come first. That's why I left.
But I wonder why he enrolled in the first place. I think this nature of CSEC is known, right? That they stick to the rules and stuff. And in this way, they are different from the Spectres. And I don't suppose one just choose to be a Spectre agent, but like from judging from his character, like Garrus should have been a Spectre agent. I feel like, I mean, I guess that would work better for him, right? Compared to being a CSEC officer. Not to say he's been doing a bad job so far. He seems like a capable CSEC officer.
So you just quit because you didn't like the way they do things?
There's more to it than that. It didn't start out bad, but as I rose in ranks, I got saddled with more and more red tape. CSEC's handling of Saren was typical. I just couldn't take it anymore. I hate leaving.
I see, okay. That kinda answers my concerns, my questions.
I hope you made the right choice. I'd hate for you to regret it later.
Well, that's sort of why I teamed up with you. It's a chance for me to get off the Citadel, see how things are done outside CSEC. Either way, I plan to make the most of this. And without CSEC headquarters looking over my shoulder, well, maybe I can get the job done my way for a change.
If getting the job done means endangering innocent people, then no. We get the job done right, not fast. Got it?
I wasn't trying to. I understand, Commander.
I like that line. Last line by Shepard. Chef's kiss. It's really good. That's the kind of Shepard I want to play. Want to be. Yeah. Again, Space Steve Rogers, guys. That's what we're going for.
Commander, good to see you.
Oh, we didn't talk with Garrus quite as long as we talked with, like, Wrex or especially Tali. Okay. Now, I promised that we were gonna leave the Citadel. So, we already well past the 1 hour mark for now, but let me just try to point our ship towards the, I believe, the Artemis Tau cluster, where Liara Tisoni was last seen. I wonder what we can find in all these other clusters, but yeah, let's go here first. Wait, which one is the one with our mission again? Maybe let's start with this one. Wait, do we know which system the Yara is? Ah, okay, so we don't know. Okay, I think this should be like finding the section of the cluster should be part of the mission. So sorry guys, I suppose I lied. We are not leaving the Citadel yet. Okay, so here's the plan. So I'm gonna wrap this episode up momentarily. The next episode is definitely going to be episode SC2, where we are gonna go over the secondary codex entries. I'll try to fit them all within an hour or so, our usual episode length. And then the episode after that will begin with us trying to find in which part of the Artemis Tau cluster Liara Tisoni is. So yeah, that's the plan, and I'm pretty sure we won't deviate too much from it. But yeah, that's about it for this episode. We basically talk with our crew members in preparation of our departure from the Citadel. And yeah, we learned quite a lot, especially about Joker, about Wrex, Tali, and Garrus. Not so much about Caden and Ashley, unfortunately. But yeah, that would be it for this episode. Thank you very much for watching the whole video right up till the end. And I'm very much looking forward to seeing all of you in the next episode of my Mass Effect 1 Legendary Edition playthrough. Now, goodbye for now, and I hope you have a great day. See ya!